Fans at home, the most esteemed, thanks for joining us on this wonderful Monday night for PSES trucks from the Magic Mile New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Getting ready to get rolling with each and every one of these gorgeous trucks, getting ready for 105 laps of action as the pace truck is peeling off. Green flag is out over the speedway and we're racing at New Hampshire. Trucks going around early, some good competition happening, some trouble with our SDK live timing. So we're going to get that up and running here. But so far, it's been an exciting race with that the 43 truck now on the outside of the 24, going through 3 out of turn number 4. So far, so good. No incidents in the first few laps of racing. We're going to get this SDK timing figured out, get things worked out before you know it, and we'll have every last piece of information you could need to enjoy this race. Trouble early as the number 43 Food City Silverado gets into the wall. There's the 88 Pennzoil Silverado. You can put the dots together there. The back end of the 88 crushed up, while the 43 with severe damage on the front end. The Oscar the Grouch 97 Silverado making it through clean and clear. Fans at home, SDK issues preventing us from bringing up the live timing at the moment, but we're going to get this sorted out and ready to go here in just a couple of minutes. Bear with us. You're watching PSES iRacing Trucks, round 17 from New Hampshire. KM Racing offering subs all over the place. KM, I appreciate you so much getting ready to roll these trucks away. Pace car peels away, still getting these overlays underway, but the green flag rolls. We've got three Silverados in the top three with that Boise State number 27 to the inside. The Oscar the Grouch Silverado on the 97 just ahead of truck number 9. First restart underway at New Hampshire. Matt1478 says, let's go Wolf. KRN Racing sending subs, everybody left and right. Thank you so much. We're going to get these underway. 27 to the inside of the 97. At the front, you've got the number 9, A-Shock Silverado leading this one all the way on the apron, though Cunningham in the 24. JDR Silverado well off that pace. Down the front straight into one. KRN Racing flooding with 400 bits. Appreciate you, KRN. Thank you so very, very much. Despite these technical difficulties, we're going to get this race we're going to get the overlays underway one way or the other. The 88 and the 78 nose to tail into 3. Bit of an error there. We're going to get that sorted, no problem either. And now we're having issues all over the place. We're going to get this fixed for you folks. Bear with us just a moment. And now we go back to live pictures. All right, looking good here. Sorry about that interruption there. SDK literally seized on me in just a brilliant flash of frustration there. But I think now we've got it up and running. We're going to get our overlays going here. I can tell you in the lead, it's Cole Martin in truck number 19. Then you've got Jamie Haynes sitting in second, Josh Hale in third, Andrew Wisdom in the fourth position, and there we go. Now we've got our timing in the top left-hand corner here. Pardon these rude overlays and interruptions. No idea why SDK decided to just up and die on us, but it looks like we've got now some semblance of where everybody is on the racetrack. Kind of weird looking though, isn't it? Let's get all this fixed here. Let's get rid of this track map. Let's get rid of this unnecessary interruptions, and we'll keep it pushing here. At the front, though, Cole Martin leading. There's Chuck Mosley Jr. in the 8th position. Back up to 5th, where you've got Chris Fathke. There we go. We'll get rid of that track map and everything there. We got a couple more overlays that we'll ditch, no problem. For some reason, still can't get control of what truck we're looking at. We're going to get that sorted. But so far, it's been the Cole Martin show at the front of this one, with Jamie Haynes in the 2nd position and Andrew Wisdom, sitting in 3rd. At the back, though, one of 2 Canadians, Sean Hamilton in the 00 Toyota, just behind Deb Hutchins. Now looking at Chris Fathke right now in that 27 Boise State Silverado, battling with Doug King in the Oscar truck behind him. Josh Hale up ahead in the number 20 Silverado. And there we go, get rid of those real quick. Nobody needs to see those or those. Now back up where we need to be. I gotta give a big shout out to KRN Racing, who is flying with these bits in here. He asks, is Sam Harrell driving in this race? Sam Harrell is indeed sitting 11th right now out of 13 trucks, 4 spots off where Sam started. got this worked out. We do indeed have this worked out, just not able to switch between the trucks yet. Kind of weird, but we still have Martin leading this one. For some reason, just can't go from truck to truck. We're going to get that worked out too. Bear with us here, but Cole Martin still at the front. Jamie Haynes in the second position. Andrew Wisdom in third. Josh Hale running fourth. Chris Fathke rounding out that top five. Now watching Doug King, Steve Harris battle for the spot. Connor Cunningham in the eighth position in that 24 truck. Doug King in the number 97. Oscar the Grouch truck doing his best to get up into that top five. He's all over the back end of Chris Fathke here for the fifth position into one. Will he make it work? There we go, finally got that running once again. Doug King running in that fifth spot there. Cole Martin so far leading this race by an impressive 1 second over Andrew Wisdom just yet. Again, fans, if you've just joined us, I'm Rick James bringing you uninterrupted green flag coverage of PSES iRacing trucks from the virtual New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Excuse me, almost said New Hampshire there, that would have been embarrassing. Trying to get these overlays working as well as we can to make sure that all the fans are enjoying this one so far. Had a bit of technical difficulties with SDK, but we've reloaded now. Watching Doug King try to get closer up to Josh Hale. This is for the fifth position. 26 of 105 laps now underway at New Hampshire. Martin leading. Chris Fathke now sitting in the sixth position, but Doug King has been on a tear. Here he is now working on the number 20 Toyota Tundra of Josh Hale. All right, we're going to try and do an attempt to fix these overlays here, fans. Bear with us. We're going to see if this works at all. Hey, look at that. All right, we've got those up and running. Check that out. Suave 555 says we got a small crowd tonight in race. Suave, let me tell you, buddy, we actually started off with a couple of bumps here trying to get these overlays working. SDK straight up, just the overlays not agreeing with us, but now we've got them working once again. Martin up at the front, Wisdom in second, Haynes sitting in third. We're going to go blank for just a moment here. We're going to give you visual pictures as they move. So far, single file at the front of this race. No action thus far, just one caution to speak of for these drivers, but everybody's got most of their trucks under control. Just one incident to speak of, but no harm, no foul. There we go. Now we can at least control where we're pointing, and it only took us 29 laps to figure it out. I guess we're still a little hungover from that 600-miler on Saturday too, aren't we? But all good, ready to roll. Cole Martin leading this one, and now we've got Drew Wisdom sitting in that second spot. The gap is almost 2 seconds. Then you're looking at Jamie Haynes sitting in that third position in the number 53 Silverado. So you've got Chevrolets all through the podium positions. Josh Hale and Doug King, here's a fun battle for the fourth spot between them. Fathke looking on in the number 27 Boise State Silverado. Then you've got Connor Cunningham and Steve Harris fighting for position. That's the 24 of Cunningham trying to hold off Steve Harris in this one. Adam Rowe bringing up the 9th position in his number 84 Chevy Silverado. There he is, one of 2 Canadians battling with Sam Harrell in the 43 Food City truck. Harrell getting a little bit of damage on the nose of his truck. Let's take a look from the nose of Harrell now. And then the 89 of Chuck Mosley Jr. in that Pennzoil Silverado. You can see the damage to the back end of his truck as well. Both of these trucks trying to get moving again. Shout out to Deb Hutchins in the number 82 Ford F-150, that PSES Ford F-150 making laps. And then Sean Hamilton, our first DNF of the evening. But back to the front, Cole Martin, 1.5 seconds is now the gap back to Drew Wisdom, who's starting to close in on that 51. Let's ride along with Drew Wisdom's for a couple of laps and see just how he gets around New Hampshire. You can hear him shifting up through the gears down the back straight, trying to maximize that speed, diving down into that 3rd corner. Jamie Haynes in turn number 3, 7.5 seconds off of 2nd place, Drew Wisdom. So Haynes really in a class of his own in the Camping World Silverado. Going back to 4th place, Josh Hale in this lightning-covered Toyota Tundra, trying to hold off Doug King. And it looks like Hale, King, and Cunningham running 4th, 5th, and 6th, all within 0.8 of a second. This is going to be a tough battle here as the 97 of King up to the high side, but here comes Cunningham looking for that 5th position. And Cunningham, interestingly enough, has been running on that apron more often than most trucks. He's been making his living down there just looking for an advantage. Watch that 24 now. That JDR Graphics Silverado right up to the back end of Doug King. Here he goes to the inside for the 5th position. Cunningham on King, edges him into 1, and he's got that spot easy. And the JDR Graphics trucks now working on the 20 up ahead of Josh Hale for 4th. Fathke in the 7th position now. 1.5 seconds between Chris Fathke and Doug King as he's making his way up this racetrack. Connor Cunningham now back for the spot to the inside of Hale. Tried it, send it in. Will he make it stick out of 2? Hale has the momentum out of the corner, but there goes the 24 of King, edging him right into turn number 3. Connor Cunningham on a move now, just taking 5th from Doug King, 4th from Josh Hale, and now does he have the time? He's 5 3/4 seconds behind 3rd place, Jamie Haynes. So far, all by their lonesome as Deb Hutchins now passes Stephen Harris for position. Harris finds himself in pit road in that number 78 Toyota Tundra getting repairs. That's going to put Deb Hutchins up to the 11th position. Chuck Mosley rounding out the top 10 in his wounded 88 Pennzoil Silverado, going a bit too high, wide, handsome in 3. Down low out of 4, and Chuck Mosley saves it off the wall. You can already see extensive damage to the outside of that number 88 Silverado. We hope Chuck will be able to come through all the way to the end of the race. At the front, though, Drew Wisdom in the A-Shock Silverado getting closer to his lead rival. Cole Martin up ahead in the 51. The gap is shrinking shortly. Let's take a look at what the delta has been like between the 9, and the 51. The 43 of Sam Harrell now down pit road, so this could be green flag pit stops showing up for these pilots. There's been the lap times between Drew Wisdom and Cole Martin. There you can see that Martin, the leader, has been slower on 4 out of the previous 5 laps. Will Wisdom make it 5 for 5 this time around? He will indeed. 5 out of the last 4 laps. Andrew Wisdom has been faster than Cole Martin. Martin now coming up on lapped traffic as these green flag pit stops start to bloom. The 89 of Chuck Mosley staying well to the outside of Martin. Drew Wisdom now looking to get to the inside. Martin in that top line. Wisdom will use him as a tow out of turn number 4. Here comes Drew Wisdom now within half a second to leader Cole Martin. Nose to tail, the 51 and the 9. This is the fight for the lead. Drew Wisdom sitting in second. Started on the pole, but he wants his top spot back. The St. Louis, Missouri driver in that A-Shock Silverado getting closer and closer as the laps wind down. Coming into this race, Drew Wisdom leads the points over Jim Holter, who's not here. Jamie Haynes in the 3rd position, some grand distance behind Drew Wisdom, 3rd in points. But Andrew Wisdom sitting 2nd to Cole Martin right now. Will he be able to get this lead before green flag pit stops? How will Martin hold him off? Wisdom now looking to the inside. He doesn't have enough out of 2. Out of that second corner, they are getting closer to that front. KRN Racing asks, where are you from, Rick? Myself, northern Michigan, specifically northeast Michigan. Tiny little town next to Lake Huron. Absolutely love it. Martin now with Wisdom all over his back end, coming across this line. 47 laps now underway at the Magic Mile. Wisdom right behind him. This is the lap for the all-important lead. Wisdom is right there. He can smell the fumes coming off the 51 of Martin. Meanwhile, in third, Jamie Haynes, 15 seconds behind this fight for the first position. Connor Cunningham, 4 seconds closer to Jamie Haynes. Cunningham has been on the move in that JRD Designs Silverado. Here comes Wisdom, peeking to the inside of Martin for the lead. One truck up ahead. Will he be used for that pick? He won't. Adam Rowe in the 84 kindly stays out of the way. Hats off to the Canadian Adam Rowe. 49 laps underway. Drew Wisdom getting closer. Is he just also applying the pressure? KRN says, nice. I am indeed. Thank you. Thank you so much, KRN. Where are you from, buddy? Drew Wisdom right there, but still hasn't made that move, possibly trying to force the mistake. Josh Hale, 4.7 seconds behind. Connor Cunningham headed into the first corner. He's got Doug King less than half a second behind him, and then 2 seconds is Chris Fathke in the 27 truck. Adam Rowe sitting 6.5 seconds adrift of them as Chuck Mosley and Deb Hutchins round out the top 10. Here's the fight for the lead, though. Andrew Wisdom trying to peek to the inside of Cole Martin, just can't get there. KRN Racing from good old Indiana, the Hoosier State. So much to do in Indiana, whether you're visiting South Bend, going to go catch a football game, if you're going to drive through Gary on your way to Chicago, go to the racetrack in Indianapolis. Never hurts to go catch a basketball game at IU or Purdue. Glad to hear you're from KRN, from Indiana, KRN Racing, but here goes Drew Wisdom to the lead, now to the inside of Cole Martin on lap 51. How will Martin defend on the outside in the Sandwich Man truck? He just can't hold it off. Drew Wisdom back to the lead at New Hampshire. So Wisdom now out in front as we approach the halfway mark in this race. Most of the truck drivers coming down pit road now. Debbie Hutchins leaving the pits. So we've actually had only 3 trucks come in, my mistake. So far, nobody on this lead lap has come in. Chris Fathke, the last truck on the lead lap, sitting in the 7th position. He can see the leaders approaching quickly, but will he catch a break from these leaders coming down for tires and for fuel? Drew Wisdom pulling away from Cole Martin now. The gap 0.3 of a second, 54 laps into this competition. Last time around, Wisdom running a 32.25 and Martin a 32.19. So Cole Martin 6/100ths quicker than Drew Wisdom. That time around, trucks in the wall as the leaders avoid him. That's the 27 of Chris Fathke. We stay green, no harm to any trucks but the 27. Fathke now running a very wide line through 3 and through 4. That's Deb Hutchins behind him in the 82, and Fathke will keep it off the wall in turn number 4. We keep it pushing, 55 laps underway, 50 to go. Next time by, Cole Martin going way too high out of turn number 2, and now the lead is going to expand big time down the back straight. ECR Kool-Aid says, them boys are fast. Wisdom isn't in a hurry, it looks like. And then he says he might check out now, and he's trying to, Kool-Aid. You can tell that Wisdom is trying to bug out and open up this lead, but Martin just won't let him. Perhaps Cole Martin in the 51 decides it's his turn to follow the leader for the time being. Now within the last 50 laps of competition, this is the 17th round of PSES trucks from the Magic Mile here in New Hampshire. Such a fun racetrack for so many drivers. So much to learn in this first half of the race, and so much that will go on next week. The trucks head to the high banks of Texas and then the high-speed 2-mile oval at Michigan, but still 50-odd laps to complete in the remainder of this race here, and we've got KRN Racing putting in another 600 bits. He says, got to do some work at work. Bummer. Have a good night, KRN. Man, the support from Kramer here. Thank you so very much. Unbelievable stuff. Got to love the PSES crew here. Kool-Aid says, it'll be interesting to see how these guys pit. Surely they can't run 100 laps. And I'll tell you what, Kool-Aid, I'll bring up the race facts here brought to you by di9. My original thought was that they would be able to go 25 to 35 laps on one fuel run, but clearly they're going to do much more than that. Andrew Wisdom now breaking out. Cole Martin falling behind, and look at this as the leader getting trapped behind lap traffic. Now to the outside of the 97 truck of Doug King. Now looking to get around Josh Hale to put him a lap down, and Cole Martin stuck in the lap down weeds. Once again, got to give a stupid big shout out to KRN Racing for gifting subs in the chat as soon as he gets in, then giving well over 1,000 bits in the chat tonight. Thank you so much, KRN, and thank you so much to PSES for having me here. The first half was really touch and go as the 51 of Cole Martin sends it in way too deep into turn number 1. Wonder what that was all about. Martin now escapes that lap traffic. He's behind Drew Wisdom by a second now. Jamie Haynes. When will Haynes survive this lead lap exodus? Haynes remains one of 2 trucks left on that lead lap. Connor Cunningham, sitting in the 4th position, finds himself 21 seconds here away from second place. Cole Martin just 1 second behind Jamie Haynes, however. So far, only 4 trucks coming down pit road. Cunningham, Hayes. Now here comes Haynes. Jamie Haynes is in, so Jamie Haynes will go a lap down. Connor Cunningham will now be the final truck on the lead lap. Cole Martin sitting in second, now coming down pit road, as does Drew Wisdom. So that's going to leave Connor Cunningham as the only truck out of the top 5 that has not pitted yet. Doug King stays out on the racetrack and moves into the 4th position. Martin and Wisdom still their ever so eager crawl down pit road. Tires and fuel for either truck. Here comes Connor Cunningham around the front straight. 62 laps now underway. New leader, Connor Cunningham. Suave 555 says, thank you, Rick, for coming in. We'll definitely need you full-time eventually. I'll be here, Suave. I love this PSES iRacing. It is my jam. Cunningham staying out. So Connor Cunningham on extremely worn tires, staying out on the racetrack. And now Cunningham is one of 2 trucks that have yet to pit. The other being the 89 of Chuck Mosley. Or did Mosley pit on lap 6? Nope, Chuck Mosley still yet to pit right now, running in 6th on the lead lap, but the last truck on the lead lap. And here comes Connor Cunningham. Cunningham has been on a tear since this race started, starting in the 11th position up to the lead, and now the leader comes down pit road for tires and fuel. Here's Drew Wisdom around the 24, and Wisdom back to the lead at New Hampshire. There is the first place truck, and there is second. Cole Martin. Martin's come down pit road again. Was it a penalty for Cole Martin? The second place truck coming down. No, and there's tires going on the 51. Did he forget to put tires? Is it a speeding penalty for Cole Martin? Martin now under threat of going a lap down. And what a turn of events here. Jamie Haynes now in the 2nd position, 23 seconds behind Drew Wisdom, and the one truck that could have held a candle to the 9, Cole Martin, now out. Is Cole Martin out of this race after running in the lead and in second with just over 40 laps to go? Cole Martin out of this race. Drew Wisdom now in the lead by himself. Unbelievable turnaround. Cole Martin done at New Hampshire. Well, that certainly changes things for the final 40 plus laps of this race. KRN Racing back, and let me tell you, you missed something, KRN. Cole Martin out of this race. Cole Martin came down pit road a second time and now done out of this race. He will finish 11th. That's going to leave Debbie Hutchins sitting in the 10th spot, 3 laps down. Chris Fathke in 9th, 1 lap down. Spots switching between Josh Hale and Doug King. These two fighting for the 5th position. Here comes King to the inside of Hale. King now falling off the pace of Hale. These two trying to get closer for position now. Sam Harrell finds himself in the 3rd spot, the number 43 Food City Silverado, after getting into some trouble in that first caution. Harrell now finds himself 3rd right now, 6.5 seconds behind the 53 of Jamie Haynes. Bama Trama in the chat. What's going on, Mama Vols? Glad to have you here so very, very much. You've missed an eventful first half of the race from the overlays not working properly to Cole Martin exiting the race on pit road. Andrew Wisdom putting a spanking on this field right now. Wisdom leading the points in that number 9 truck, and he is putting on a clinic this evening. There's Jamie Haynes in the 2nd position, some 25 seconds behind. Connor Cunningham now going a lap down to Andrew Wisdom, so that's going to leave 2 trucks on the lead lap. Drew Wisdom, Jamie Haynes, 1 and 2. And now Haynes is going to need something like a couple of cautions almost to get all the way back up to Drew Wisdom. There's Wisdom now exiting turn number 2. He can see Haynes up in the distance now entering turn 3, and it seems like the only driver that could beat Drew Wisdom is himself. A masterclass so far from the driver of the number 9 A-Shock Silverado, but back for the battle for 5th. King looking to the inside of Hale. The Oscar the Grouch Silverado sends it in deep. Josh Hale riding that 4th lane on the high side. Hale will have the momentum out of 4, and he will keep the 5th position. Doug King looking to the inside of Josh Hale one more time. This for that 4th position. Adam Rowe sitting in 6th. Doug King all over the back of Hale will give him no respite whatsoever. And KRN Racing now with 1,000 bits in the chat. Man, this guy is unbelievably generous. Wow. Thank you so much, KRN Racing. Man, wow. That's amazing right there. Suave 555 says Titanic flute the field, and KRN says it's not the first time he's lapped the field. Now, here he goes to, now we're looking at Drew Wisdom. There's Jamie Haynes entering turn 1 in 2nd. There's Drew Wisdom leading this race, headed into turn 1. We were just looking at that battle for 4th. Here goes Doug King, now to the inside of Josh Hale. One more time, he's going to drive it up the racetrack. These two side by side for 4th. Despite the masterclass at the front of this race, it's been an exciting affair so far. A couple of crashes, one of the leaders just exiting this race seemingly unprovoked. And this battle for the 4th spot here, Doug King all over the back of Josh Hale. Drew Wisdom leading this race with no worries whatsoever. Jamie Haynes just ahead, begging for a caution to stay on the lead lap. And these two fighting it out, hammer and tongs. Now, from the cockpit of Doug King. Now to the inside, contact between the two. The 20 of Hale up into the outside wall. Doug King sends it in rather firm-like, just moves up the track, gets into the 20 of Hale. Hale goes into the wall, and caution is out on the racetrack. Caution is out on the racetrack. Sam Harrell going off the track briefly in the 43. Let's roll this back and see what happened with Sam Harrell. Loose out of turn number 2. Save it, Sam. Oh, second time today. Sam Harrell puts it into the wall. And not a good look for that 43 truck of Sam Harrell. Bit of a shame, so he's going to get it, well, he's going to struggle to get it back at speed. And there's Harrell again. So Andrew Wisdom and that massive 29-second lead going to be wiped out to 0 as we approach the final 25 laps at New Hampshire. So now we're going to set up with the final 20 laps here. Trucks will come down, get tires, get fuel, fans. In the meantime, we're going to take a quick 60-second break. We're going to make sure that everything is good to go to the end, and we're going to stay ad-free to the end of this race. You're watching PSES Trucks from virtual New Hampshire. And subscribers, if you're still live on Twitch, thank you so much for that subscription. Those subscriptions keep us moving week in, week out. We're not able to do this without you, so genuinely, from the bottom of my race-loving heart, fans, thank you so very, very much. We can't do this without you. Sit tight. We'll be back in 35 seconds with the conclusion of round 17. Back at virtual New Hampshire with Andrew Wisdom leading in quite a dominating fashion. Let's see if we can bother the driver of the 9 truck and see how his race is going for him so far. Andrew Wisdom, Rick James up top. You got me, buddy?
Yes, sir.
It has been a very dominating performance for you so far in that 9 truck. You're going to have about 23 laps to go when we restart this race. Can you bring it home?
I think we got a pretty good shot at it, as long as I don't roast the right front off. I think there before Cole disconnected, I used a little bit too much of it there on that long run, so just kind of learn lessons from that and trying to hold on to it.
Is it a short run truck or a long run sort of truck tonight?
I definitely think it's a long run truck. It's a little bit kind of loose on the short run, but I think it kind of mellows out once you burn some fuel off of it and heat up the tires.
Jamie Haynes going to be all over the back bumper of your A-Shock Silverado going for the lead. How do you defend a very hungry driver like that?
Just trying to defend that optimal racing line, which I guess is kind of hard here because it's kind of a multi-groove track, but I'll try to keep it off of that flat portion on the bottom just to make sure I get a good run off of the corner, and hope we can hold them off.
Hopefully you can hold them off, and that's going to lead me to my next question. Drew Wisdom, what is your favorite kind of breakfast?
Oh, waffles.
Waffles with chips,
Yep.
blueberries. How do you feel?
Uh, hmm. Maybe so, just like a regular old like big Belgian waffle, you know, with
Gotcha.
some butter and syrup. Yeah,
Love it, love it. All right, we're gonna let you get back to work here, Drew. Best of luck, buddy.
appreciate it.
Never would have figured him to be a waffles guy. Well, that's okay. Hopefully, Drew works his way to some victory waffles at the end of this show. We're getting ready to go green. We're going to rack them, stack them one more time. Drew Wisdom to the inside. Jamie Haynes to the outside. Connor Cunningham in the third position. He's being scored behind all this lapped traffic. 2 by 2. 4 rows deep. Pace car's going to peel off. Drew Wisdom waits for the signal with 22 laps to go. We are green at New Hampshire. Cunningham has been on a tear lately. Connor Cunningham knows exactly how to get around these trucks, but will he get to Jamie Haynes quick enough? Haynes already half a second off the pace to Drew Wisdom. Wisdom not in a short run truck, but now coming to 20 laps to go. Next time by, Haynes will need to really squeeze the pressure to get close to Wisdom. Connor Cunningham now 1.89 seconds behind Jamie Haynes for the second position. Here is the fight between Adam Rowe and Josh Hale, the Canadian in the 5th spot. Trucks fanning out wide behind him. Josh Hale. I'm sorry, that looks like Connor Cunningham in the 24. It is Connor Cunningham. Adam Rowe still 1 second ahead of Josh Hale in the 20 truck. And then there's Fathke, who wants to take the 6th spot away from Hale. Sorry, Fathke finds himself 2 laps down. He's chasing down Chuck Mosley here. I've got these positions all wrong. There's Josh Hale, who's a lap down, chasing down Adam Rowe in the 84. So the trucks that are 1 and 2 laps down separated by the other truck in that battle. So Andrew Wisdom still leading strong here, coming to the final 18 laps, but Jamie Haynes not giving up the fight, still within 1 second. There's Connor Cunningham. He's been held up by lap traffic, but now he's looking to get to the inside of Adam Rowe. Not for position. Rowe's been turned. Will he save it? Adam Rowe with a glove save in the shock top F-150. Keeps it off the wall. Keeps it pushing. But now Josh Hale all over the back of that 84. This for the 5th place. Suave 555 says Wisdom checking out again. The lead is only 1 second, but look at this 3 wide battle out of 4. Now Josh Hale to the inside, trying to stay off of these trucks. 3 wide into 1 with 17 to go. There's the contact. Hale goes around after Adam Rowe gets into Hale. The 27 of Fathke gets involved. We stay green at New Hampshire. No one hits the wall, and we keep it pushing. What an unbelievable sequence that was. 16 to go this time by. The shock top F-150 surviving that hairy ordeal. He stays in the 5th spot. Doug King just 2.5 seconds ahead in that 97. Connor Cunningham almost 4 seconds behind Jamie Haynes, who finds himself 2 seconds behind Drew Wisdom, coming to the final 15 miles of competition. ECR Kool-Aid says, killer save. And it was a killer save indeed. Could have been a big hairy accident there, but everybody makes it through unharmed. Doug King sitting in 4th, almost 3 seconds ahead of Adam Rowe, now trying to regather what he thought was a wrecked truck. And then Josh Hale in the number 20 Toyota Tundra, rounding out that top 6. Now a battle Chuck Mosley Jr. and Chris Fatke, these two fighting for the 7th position now. There's Mosley Jr., who had some extensive damage to the back end of that Pennzoil Silverado. He now finds himself almost 1 second ahead of Chris Fatke coming out of 4. And then for Drew Wisdom, lucky number 13 laps to go. Next time by, Jamie Haynes has to really step it up to get close, but I don't think he has enough. It's going to be Wisdom's race to lose coming to the final 13. Mosley Jr. starting to pull away from Fatke in the Boise State Silverado. And Mosley Jr. has recovered from hard hits on the back end of his truck after he and Sam Harrell got involved. And Fatke trying to make his life a little more difficult coming into the final 13 laps. Fans, if you've just joined us, it's been an eventful race, to say the least. Technology holding us back in the first third of the race. And then after that, it's been Andrew Wisdom, who's just been leading this field effortlessly. But it's not over yet. Less than a dozen laps remain at New Hampshire. Jamie Haynes trying to preserve his 2nd position. Connor Cunningham now fighting with Doug King. Although this isn't for position, King takes it just a bit too high on the racetrack. Adam Rowe, 4 3/4 seconds behind, will let Chuck Mosley go ahead. And then it's Chris Fatke, who's trying to hang on just 0.6 of a second adrift of the 89 of Mosley. $11 laps to go at New Hampshire. Fans at home, don't forget, next week normal service will resume with the one, the only Atlanta racing at the Texas Motor Speedway 7 days from now. That's August 9, round 18 of PSES from virtual Texas. There's the 1 second threshold now. Fatke chasing down this driver. Chuck Mosley in the 7th spot. 10 to go now for Drew Wisdom. There's the gap between Mosley and Fatke. 1 second there with the 84 of Adam Rowe, one of 2 Canadians in this race. Rowe, comfortable enough that he could just coast his way to a 5th place finish, but he's got to keep the work in. Josh Hale is only 4 seconds adrift of Adam Rowe. Coming to 8 to go for Drew Wisdom. He came into this race with a substantial point lead. And it's been just a dominant performance so far. Swab 555 says, big thank you to di9 Designs for getting into this race. My esteemed thanks to the folks at di9 Designs. My screw up because we could not get their logo in the race, but we will do next time. No worries about that. We'll have a word about our good folks at di9 here at the end of the show. But Drew Wisdom leading over Jamie Haynes, 5.7 seconds. Now the gap, and just to illustrate that visually, there's Wisdom leaving 4. 6 seconds is the gap now. There's Jamie Haynes in the middle of 3 and 4. And then there's Connor Cunningham, almost 2 seconds adrift of 2nd place. Cunningham has been ruining this gap that Haynes has. And as it shows, the last time by, Cunningham quicker on 3 out of the last 5 laps between himself and Haynes. Now 1.5 seconds is all that remains when it was a 5-second gap between Haynes and Cunningham. You can see Cunningham, you can just hear him downshifting. He sends it in way too hard there. Haynes able to gain a little bit of time. 5 to go next time by. Wisdom, Haynes, Cunningham, 9:53.24, your top 3. 4 Chevrolets in the top 5 with Adam Rowe rounding out the first 5 spots. Haynes, 1.4 seconds is the gap back to Cunningham. There's Cunningham now. getting even closer, but where does he make up this time, and will it be enough? 4 to go next time by. .3 seconds now, the gap with 3 miles remaining the next time they cross that line. Chris Fathke in the 8th position right now. 4.5 seconds behind Chuck Mosley Jr. and Mosley done his part now. He's just got to cruise to the finish and make no mistakes to keep that 7th spot. Same goes for Josh Hale, who has pancaked the right side of that number 20 Shockey Tundra. 4.7 seconds behind 5th place Adam Rowe. Rowe doing a marvelous job himself in the Shock Top F-150. Doug King in the 97, Oscar the Grouch Silverado. He's had his highs and his lows, but he's done a good job so far. Connor Cunningham, hats off to him regardless what happens, but this is going to be an exciting fight to the end. Cunningham now within 1 second of Haynes. 2 miles remain. Jamie Haynes has done his very best to catch Drew Wisdom, and it's just not going to happen. If Wisdom keeps it mistake-free to the end of the race, it's his win once again. But Jamie Haynes hovering around the 1 second mark to Connor Cunningham. Does Cunningham have enough? He's making an enormous amount of time down the back straight, but he's only got 1.5 laps to get the job done. White flag is out, less than 1 mile remains for Drew Wisdom, but now the gap 0.8 of a second between Haynes and Cunningham. It's got to be a mistake-free lap for Jamie Haynes. He's got to hit all of his marks if he wants to get close to the 53. It's been a thrilling masterclass at the front. Andrew Wisdom gets another win this season. Round 17 is his. Jamie Haynes off the 4th corner has done enough to secure the 2nd spot. Jamie Haynes gets a silver medal today, and Connor Cunningham brings it home in 3rd. Doug King in 4th. He will slowly coast across the line. Adam Rowe in 5th. Josh Hale will come home in the 6th position. Talk about a masterclass. Talk about just putting the field to sleep. Not much you can do about that. Fans, stay tuned. We're going to have top 3 interviews in just a moment. We're going to hear from our 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place finishers. Bit of a tap of congratulations from the 53 and the 24. Your winner tonight at New Hampshire, the number 9 A-Shock Silverado of Andrew Wisdom. Back on the podium for our top 3 interviews, starting with the number 27 JRD Designs Silverado of Connor Cunningham. Connor, you managed to salvage a 3rd place finish. What would it have taken to take down Jamie Haynes for 2nd?
Had a bit more right rear tire left because I pretty much used it going through traffic, and I am sorry to row that I got into on accident. Did not mean to. Apologize. But I should have had a bit more right rear tire at the end, but had to send it somehow.
You sent it. You did beautifully. You managed to hang on for a 3rd place finish. Congratulations on that. We'll see you next week at Texas.
Thank you.
Now to our silver medal finisher, Jamie Haynes in the number 53 Camping World Truck. Jamie, how did your race go?
It was pretty smooth. I had nothing for Andrew whatsoever. I was kind of in a world of my own pretty much the most of the race.
You still managed to bring it home for a podium spot. Now you're headed next week into Texas. Are we going to see one better there?
Well, be fine with me. I'd love to get a truck win, but I guess that's up to the number 9 guy.
Congratulations on that 2nd place finish. We'll see you in a week. Before we get to that number 9 guy, we got to say a word for our race presenters over at di9 Designs. Big thank you over to the folks at di9, the Chase Elliott custom graphic design page on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at di9 Designs. They post graphics on all platforms multiple times a week on top of taking requests on all types of logos, Chase Elliott wallpapers, iRacing schemes, and more. Follow and DM them for more details. They are not affiliated with Hendrick Motorsports or Chase Elliott. And now the winner. Driver of the number 9 A-Shock Silverado with his 6th truck win this season, Andrew Wisdom. You are magic at the Magic Mile.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting the race to go that good, to be honest. I felt good after the Cup race here a couple of weeks ago. We did real good there. But the truck drive's completely different. It's a lot tighter. Still kind of loose on the short run, which is weird, but I don't know. I had to start shifting. I kind of figured that out during practice. You got to get in the 3rd gear to try to get a good exit off the corner. So not really a fan of having to drive it like that too much, but I guess I somewhat figured it out. I did notice there was a couple people that wasn't shifting, so it kind of made it kind of easier to get through traffic. But yeah, really happy with that.
Next week, going into Texas, you'll be going for 3 straight wins in a row. You're heating up, man. Are we going to see you on fire?
I hope so. I've never really done too much at Texas after the reconfiguration, so hopefully we can figure out that new banking and get our lines down. I think it's really going to be a bottom feeder track where you got to hit your marks every single lap to keep from heating your tires up too bad. So hopefully we can find that, figure out what line that is, and get rolling on it and pick up another win.
Well, we'll see you next week at Texas, and hopefully it's 3 wins in a row. Congratulations again on a 6th gold medal, Andrew.
Thanks.
Fans at home, that's going to do it for us today. A big thank you to the folks over at PSES for having me once again. I had a blast, and I cannot wait to come back and do it again next Monday. Normal service resumes. The great Atlanta Racing takes his seat back, and the PSES Truck Series goes to the high-speed 1.5-mile oval of the Texas Motor Speedway. Big thank you once again to di9 Designs. Thank you to our top 3 for their interviews for Connor Cunningham, Jamie Haynes, Drew Wisdom. Oh, one more thing. Cannot forget KRN Racing, putting in well over 1,500 bits in this chat and giving out multiple subscriptions. That's just a class act move right there. So big thank you to KRN Racing. That's going to do it for us, fans. Stay safe. Take care of each other. Next week at Texas, we will